time for the Malin Webb Show. Join us each week as we go inside Del City Marshman football with the Del City head football coach, Malin Webb, on the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
You dream it, we create it at Street Dreams. Custom paint, fabrication, stereos, wheels, tires, and more. We're also your authorized Sinister Sound dealer. Street Dreams, 317-624-1000, where you expect quality and get.
When you think sporting goods, think no further than All Star Sports in Ferdinand. Custom embroidery, screen printing, team uniforms, sports equipment, and sports apparel and shoes. We have it all. Give Brad a call today at 812-367-1618 or visit them in the Country Plaza Shopping Center in Ferdinand. All Star Sports is open Monday through Friday 10 to 7 and Saturday 9 to 4. All Star Sports, when you're thinking sporting goods.
And welcome to this week's Malin Webb Show. And Coach, last week you took on Perry Central in the Battle of Perry County. Why don't you review that game for us?
So, that's always the one everybody in the county looks forward to. So, going into it, we know it's going to be a dogfight, and that's exactly what it was. Last Friday we were our own worst enemy. We had 2 touchdowns get called back for holdings. We started a drive off first at 35. We started another drive off on our own 1. And so, we faced a lot of adversity, which, in the big picture, that's probably a good thing. Early on in the season, week 1, we get to face a lot of adversity and really kind of find out what kind of team we are. We came up just short. We missed a PAT late in the fourth quarter. We had a bad snap, bad hold. It was just bad all around. Like I said, a lot of adversity, but there was also a lot of positives. We still rushed for, I think, over 180 yards. We threw for almost 100. So we're pretty balanced in our attack offensively. Defensively, we just had alignment issues. And so, there's a lot of positives we could take away, but there's also a lot of things that we got to get fixed this week if we want to be competitive against Heritage Hills.
And, it looks like DuPont led you in passing and rushing, and if he could have threw the ball himself, maybe he could have also led you in receiving too.
Yeah. So, Tice, he's made leaps and bounds from last year to this year. And so, we knew that going into this year, he was going to be one of the guys for us on offense. He was going to be more of a playmaker versus a game manager, and that's exactly what he was on Friday night. He led us both in rushing, passing, and then out on the perimeter we had Kelby Glenn, who had over 70 yards receiving, which Kelby is definitely the definition of a vertical threat, and he's a very, very fast kid. And so, there's kind of 2 takeaways from that. Quarterback play was very good, but, for us to be as successful as what we want to be, we can't always just rely on the quarterback carrying the ball 15 times a game and then also passing for nearly 100 in the offense that we run. We want to be very, very balanced in terms of carries and yardage and everything like that. So that's definitely something that we gotta be better at this week.
And 1 week into the PAC season, anyone that surprises you? Anyone that doesn't surprise you?
Not really so far. I thought North Posey, how they played week 1 was very good. I knew that they had lost a lot of people, but they're very well coached, and so they were a big surprise to me in terms of how young they are, and also how effective they were and what they did. But PAC, it seems like it's normal stuff. Everybody's trying to catch the tail of Southridge, And, I think there's a lot of teams in the small school PAC this year that are going to be very, very competitive. And, like I tell our kids every week, there's not a single game on our schedule where we can look at it and say we're 100% going to win this game. Every game we have is a winnable game, but there's not a game on the schedule that we're definitely going to win. And so, every week we got to bring it. So, as I was saying, I think for us, our schedule, it's a fight every single week, and there's not a game on our schedule that we look at and we're just like, we're 100% going to win this game. And so, like I tell our kids all the time, we just have to bring it every single week because every single team is apt to beat you, but we're also apt to beat every single team on our schedule as well. So, PAC is not a walk in the park by any means.
And we're back on the Malin Webb Show right after these messages from our sponsors. You're listening to the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Malin Communications.
This is the most important, amazingest game ever played in the universe. The pitcher is fierce. Danny Roberts is up at bat. And the crowd goes wild. He just won the game. Let's go! Yes!
We protect the car you drive.
Go get him, Danny.
And the dreams that drive you. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
And welcome back to the Malin Webb Show. And, Coach, this week, is a new week, and you've got a very daunting task. You get to play the Heritage Hills Patriots.
Yeah. It's a perennial powerhouse program of Southern Indiana. And so, I told our kids, Heritage Hills is always going to be two things. They're going to be very well coached, and they're going to play hard every single snap. And so, a big emphasis for us this week is physicality, making sure that we're playing hard every snap, and we're also being disciplined as well. But like I just mentioned, I think with the group of kids that we have every single week, we consider it a winnable game. But this is one of those weeks that in order to win, we have to be nearly perfect. And that goes for anybody who plays Heritage Hills. And so, there's a lot of things that, we think we can do better this week versus what we did against Perry Central. But for us, everything has to start in the trenches up front. I mean, we have to match their physicality, and we have to be quick off the snap because we know that Heritage Hills is going to be those two things for sure.
And after talking to Coach Wilkerson, I think that this year Heritage Hills brings back a lot of players that played last year. So,
yeah, they're definitely experienced. That's for sure. And even though they're experienced, they're still what I would consider fairly young. I know that they bring back the Meredith kid at running back, and he started last year as a freshman. He's very good, and their quarterback, I believe, he's a 2 or 3 year starter. He's also very good, and so they are very, very experienced, and that usually goes well when you layer that on top of being very well coached. And so, I think it's a game though that our kids are looking forward to in order to kind of turn the page in terms of what happened last week with Perry Central. But, penalties, that's something that we have to put a big emphasis on this week if we want to have any chance to beat Heritage Hills on Friday night.
And, when you look at their defense, not many teams are led by freshmen, but last weekend, Jet Goldsberry had 10 tackles to lead the Heritage Hills Patriots.
Yep. That's something we noticed on film. He's well beyond his years. We thought in past years that we've had freshmen who are very good that we had to keep off the field on Friday nights, but then, open up their film on Saturday morning, he's almost on a different level. And, with a last name like that, I would expect him to be. but you know, they're just all around. You know, there's not necessarily just one guy that you can point to and say, you know, he's the difference maker. They have 11 guys on the field, both offense and defensively, that can make plays for him, and that's a huge difference between good teams and great teams.
And he might have learned a few things from his daddy.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Coach, good luck this week.
Thanks. I appreciate you for having me.
You're listening to the Malin Webb Show on the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications. We'll see you next week.
You've been listening to the Malin Webb Show. Join us each week as we go inside Tell City Marksman football with the Tell City head football coach, Malin Webb, on the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications. We'll see you next week.